The legacy of Pearl Harbor. How one day shaped the course of history. The attack on Pearl Harbor was a turning point in the history of World War II. On the morning of December 7, 1941, the Japanese launched a surprise military strike against the United States naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The attack resulted in the deaths of over 2,400 Americans, the sinking or damaging of over 20 American ships, and the destruction of nearly 200 aircraft. It was a devastating blow to the United States, and it led to America's entry into the war. The attack on Pearl Harbor was the result of years of tension and conflict between the United States and Japan. In the 1930s, Japan had embarked on a campaign of expansion and conquest in Asia, and the United States had imposed economic sanctions in response. The two countries had been negotiating for months in an effort to resolve their differences, but they were unable to come to an agreement. On the morning of December 7, 1941, the Japanese launched their attack on Pearl Harbor with a force of over 350 aircraft. The attack began at 7:48 a.m. and lasted for just over 2 hours. The Japanese targeted the naval base and the airfields in the area, hoping to destroy as much of the American military's Pacific Fleet as possible. The attack was a complete surprise to the Americans, who had not expected an attack from Japan. Many of the ships at Pearl Harbor were caught in the open and were vulnerable to the Japanese attack. The USS Arizona was hit by a bomb that penetrated the ship, causing a massive explosion that sunk the ship and killed over 1,100 sailors. The USS Oklahoma was also hit by several torpedoes and capsized, killing over 400 sailors. The attack on Pearl Harbor had a profound impact on the United States in the course of World War II. It united the American people in a way that had not been seen since the Civil War, and it led to a mobilization of the country's military and industrial resources on an unprecedented scale. President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivered his famous Day of Infamy speech to Congress on December 8, 1941, in which he declared war on Japan. The United States would go on to enter the war against both Japan and Germany, and it would eventually emerge as one of the dominant powers in the world. The attack on Pearl Harbor also had significant consequences for Japan. Despite the initial success of the attack, Japan's decision to go to war with the United States proved to be a costly mistake. The United States had far greater industrial and military resources, and it was able to use those resources to turn the tide of the war in the Pacific. Japan would suffer a series of defeats at the hands of the Americans, and it would eventually be forced to surrender in 1945. The attack on Pearl Harbor remains one of the most significant events in American history. It was a defining moment for the United States, and it had a lasting impact on the country and the world. It is a reminder of the importance of preparedness and the dangers of surprise attacks, and it serves as a testament to the bravery and sacrifice of the men and women who fought and died in the attack and in the war that followed. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content.